Hello, I want to get started with a description of what decision tables are. All right, a decision table is essentially a matrix representation that shows you the logic of a decision as to what conditions are met and leading to what actions. So, possible conditions and leading and the resulting actions are shown in a tabular format. And say, for example, we have a business that wishes to um, create some business rules that capture what the type of employee and the number of hours the employee worked. Depending on that combination of employee type and hours worked, the actions that may be done will be different. Say, for example, if the employee is a standard employee and works less than 40 hours, then the employee gets a base salary. On the other hand, if the employee is as an hourly worker and works less than 40 hours, then the action that will be allowed or will be done on that record will be calculate hourly wage. And also for that employee, we will will do produce absence report. Now, if the employee is hourly worker and hours worked is more than 40, we do calculate hourly wage and also calculate overtime. So these actions are done on the condition that is described in the top half of the table. So the table has two parts. The top part is the condition stubs, and the lower half is the action stubs. So the condition stubs shows name of condition and the value of that condition, and the lower half shows what actions are applicable under certain condition combinations. Now in this problem, there are two types of employees. Employee type is S or H, and the hours worked is there are three types of hours: less than 40, 40, and more than 40. So three values for hours worked and two values for employee type. So 3 times 2, so there are 6 combinations possible. So there are 6 possible rules are described in this decision table. And so, so this decision table will be useful for modeling decision making as well as for improving the decision making process. So the idea is we want to try and come up with the condition stubs and then action stubs for any given problem. And we will take up a simple example and see how to work that out. All right. Okay. Now the problem we're going to take up is already posted on Canvas. So the problem we'll take up first is problem on from page 214 of the textbook. And so let me go ahead and load this page. Okay, there it is. And so this textbook page has different problems. In this, we'll pick up problem 246. Okay. All right, let's go back. See if we can just take a screenshot of this. Okay, here we have, here's a problem. And so take a moment to read through this problem, and you can pause this recording and read through this problem once, then come back and we will analyze this problem and figure out what the conditions are, what condition values there are, and what actions there are. Okay, and on this tool, using this tool, I'm going to use red color pen for finding my condition values. So talking about purchase over $15,000 or purchase under $15,000. So there are two possible amounts, 15,000 or under 15,000. And another variable is the number of proposals we got. So the proposals may be sometimes required, sometimes not required. Okay. And okay, so there must be enough proposals. So proposals could be, it says, talking about, some cases it's not required, some cases we need 3 or more proposals. At least 3 proposals. And okay, and then we have vendor. Sometimes a vendor is either has been approved vendor, or it could be somebody who's not approved. If the person is not approved, we must go back and pick an approved vendor. So these are the values. Now the conditions, let me mark the conditions in blue. So amount is purchase, and number of proposals would be the condition, and then vendor would be the third condition. So we got amount, proposals, and vendor. Then for action, I would probably circle the actions. The actions could be, so we have, we can issue a purchase order. So that is, purchase is an action. And if the amount is less than 15,000, we can simply go ahead with can simply be bought from any approved vendor. So that's also bought is another, or purchase or bought, it's the same thing. And if it is over 15,000, then we still needs to be approved. So they must be sent for approval. So that is another action. All right. Then if the vendor we picked was not approved, we must pick a vendor from the list. So select a vendor. So I would say selecting vendor would be another action. Okay. So let me just go ahead and circle this. Okay. All right. Now that we have identified the conditions, the values, and actions, I can go ahead and create a table or a decision table. Okay. So to make it simple, I'm going to use Excel to draw the table. Let's see how it is. So here we go. First is conditions, and we have price or amount. One, and proposals. Second, vendor status. So amount could be, the vendor status could be approved or not approved, approved or not approved, and proposal could be, number of proposal needed could be not required, not required. I want to, since there are three conditions, so the first condition has possibly two values, and the second condition, vendor has two values. I'm sorry, proposal has three values, followed by vendor has two values. So it's possibly you have 12 possible combinations. So I'm going to list out all 12 possible combinations and then see how to come up with a decision table. So less than 3, then greater than equals 3, so that takes care of 6. 6 will be for amount less than 15,000. Just fill these columns. Then have the same set of values for amount more than 15,000. Again, I fill this range. Okay, there it is. So these are my conditions. There are 12 possible conditions, and these two I can simply combine into 2. All right, so these are 12 possible conditions. Then I write my actions here. Actions, we have identified actions to be, here we go. We have purchase and send for approval, and then pick a vendor. So our actions could be, let's say first thing we'll do is choose send for use vendor and send for approval, then make a purchase. So if amount is less than 15,000, you don't need proposals, and vendor status is approved, then you can go ahead and purchase. And these are our action areas. All right. So if amount is less than 15,000, no proposal required, and vendor status is approved, then you can go ahead and purchase. If amount is less than 15,000, if vendor status is not approved, then we must go and pick a different vendor. Okay. And in this case also we must send for approval, because we still need to get approval from the purchasing department. Amount is less than 15,000, then we don't need proposals. So less than 3, greater than 3, these cells do not matter to amounts less than 15,000. So let me just gray that out. All right. Similarly, if amount is more than 15,000, then you need proposals. So the not required columns or values do not apply. So that also can be grayed out. Now, if amount is more than 15,000 and you got less than 3 proposals, then you must go and get more proposals. So another action I forgot to include is get proposal. All right. So in this case, if amount is more than 15,000 and the number of proposals is less than three, then you must go and get more proposal. So that has to be included. So that is a fourth action. If amount is more than 15,000 and you got less than three, and you're not even talking about vendor, so you don't have to worry about that. And you must still get another proposal. And when amount is more than 15,000, you got more than three proposals, and you got approved vendor. And if you got approved vendor, then of course you need to simply get approval, and also you can go ahead and purchase. These two should be allowed. Okay. And if amount is more than 15,000, you got more than three proposal, the vendor you chose was not approved, they must go back and pick a different vendor. All right, so these are the six, or we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different rules have been identified, and the combination there are 12 combinations possible, of which we use 8. And this way we can build the decision table. So let me rename this as 346. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll do another problem. The second problem will be problem 350. I'm sorry, 752. So this is 746. And rename this 752. This problem is on page 215 of the textbook. So again, for convenience sake, I have posted this here on Canvas. You can view it here. So that's a problem. And what I'll do is, let me go ahead and pull it up in my snipping tool. Okay. All right. So here we have it. And take a few minutes to read this document, and then you can pause the play and read the document and come back. All right. Okay. Right, now that we have read it, let's go ahead and use the same sort of coding scheme. So I'll use red pen for circling my condition values. Okay, so we have less than 2000 is one condition value, and we have good or excellent as credit, and then we have fair as credit, and then the application holds an account, that is also a value, and then we have amount between 2000 and 200,000. Okay, if the credit rating could be poor, that is another value. And then we have the amount of loan request, that will be a criteria or a condition, and these are the values. And whether somebody holds an account, that will be a value, as well as account itself can be a condition, and denied is an action. So let me use a sort of squiggly line for denied action. And then we have different kinds of categories: car, mortgage, education, and other. So the case doesn't distinguish between all four. So education is being used as one value, and then we have other, which will be car or mortgage. And what do we have? We have employment check. So that'll be whether somebody's employed or not. So that'll be a, a value or criteria. And as we go along, might need additional information. So that's a possible action. Okay. And sometimes gets sent to the vice president for review. So that is also an action. And there's another condition about education. If the cost amount exceeds the cost of attendance, so that is a possible outcome of education cost. Then we have amount between 2,000 and 34,000. That is another value for amount. That's a range. There's another value for range is 35 to 200,000. And what else do we have? Okay, we also have I think that's okay. And finally we have if it's sent to the vice president for review, so that is another action here. Okay, so we got actions, and we got conditions and methods. In this case, if you let me go ahead and write out possible values for amount. And amount is something that can be one of possible four values. So amount can be either less than 2,000 and 2,000, 2,000 to 35,000. Then you have 35 to 200,000, and about 200,000. So these are the possible values for amount. And then for credit, we have poor, fair, and good or excellence. So three possible values for credit. And what else do we have? We have the loan, whether education. It doesn't talk about other things. We can just say education could be yes or no. And the loan amount has to be less than the cost of education. So loan less than credit cost. That could be either yes or no. And also we have whether it has an account or not. Bank account is either yes or no. And whether the person is employed or not. So salary verification is either yes or no. Okay. All right, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 times 3, 12. This is it. These are the conditions. Okay, these are the conditions we have. And the number of combinations you can have here is pretty big. So combinations is 4 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so that makes it. All right, so if I do the math here, equals 4 times 3. No, 192. So there are 192 combinations of values for each condition, or the condition combinations of condition values. But we're not going to do 192 columns to do this. Instead, we'll use a shortcut, and this time we'll build the problem as it goes. So we'll go back and take a look at this first. We'll start from top to bottom. As we go down the list of condition and action, we'll start building the decision tree, decision table. Okay, so first thing is if the loan amount is less than 2,000, the officer checks a report. If the report is good or excellent, loan is approved. So it's my decision table. So amount is less than 2K and credit is rated good or excellent, and action would be approve. Yes. Okay. So that takes care of the first. Okay, that takes care of this part. If the credit report is rated fair, office checks to see if the applicant has an account in the bank. If the applicant has an account in the bank, then it's approved. So again, for less than 2K, if it is fair and the person has a bank account, yes, then approval is yes. Okay, if the amount is less than 2K and if the credit is poor, then approve is no. Okay, and similarly, if the amount less than 2K and your credit rating is fair and he has no bank account, then approve is no. Okay, now approve is action. Now what we want to do is we'll keep it separate. Approve and deny will be two separate actions. So this will be yes or yes here, and here's a yes. Or let's say this is done. If it is fair and you don't have an account, that will be that. And let me make this center. Okay. So that takes care of if the credit report is fair and the officer checks to his application account, it holds an account, approves, otherwise application is denied. If the credit report is rated poor, application is denied. Loan applications for amount between 200 and 200K are divided into 4 categories. So we have education and others. Okay. If the credit report rating is poor, loan is denied. That we already took care of that. The credit report rating is fair, so that is for even higher amounts. So for other amounts, 2,000 to 200,000. There are 3 other ranges here. So second range is 2 to 35K, 35K to 200K. And if credit is poor, the deny is checked. Okay, that's what this line is. It's fair, good, or excellent. And if the salary income is verified, so here's where we have salary, whether it's salary salary is verified, and if credit rating is poor, loan is denied. If rating is fair, good, and excellent. So for these amounts, so fair or good and excellent. Okay, for amounts 235 as well as these two values, if credit rating is fair or good or excellent, and your salary is verified, then you're approved. Okay, so if salary is not verifiable, application is contacted and additional information is requested. So there is another action here. I forgot to include that. So additional info is requested if salary income is not verified. So for the same amount, it's 2 to 35K and 35 to 40K, 200K. Okay, salary is not verified, then we want additional information. Okay. So again, it has to be fair or good or excellent. Fair, good, or excellent. All right. So that is next case. Along with additional information is sent to the vice president for review. So, and also in addition, we get additional information and then we send for review. Another action for these two cases. All right. So that takes care of these two. Now for educational loans, education student will be contacted and determined to estimate the cost of attendance. So education loan is 32 to 35K. Okay, and it has to be fair or good and excellent. Same two values. And education has to be yes. Okay. Yes, in both cases. In addition, let me insert this. In addition, we've got to make sure that loan is less than education cost. Okay. Loan is less than education cost. Then we approve it. That's what this line says. Otherwise, it's denied. So again, for the same two combinations, if the loan is not less than education cost, if these two values are no, then we deny. Okay. And for amounts exceeding 35 to 200,000 are approved only if the credit rating is good or excellent. It says education loan application. So 35 to 200, A, and only if credit is good or excellent, and that it is for education, then it is approved. You don't have to check if the loan is less than education cost. It doesn't say that. All loan applications for amount greater than 200,000 are sent to the vice president for review. So anything about 200,000 is simply sent for review. Okay, so I think that kind of completes our um, decision table, and let me save this. Okay, so now once we got this done, we may have to rearrange this a little bit so that all the credit amounts are kind of shown together. So let me do that. Let me copy this. And so all the less than 2K is first, then 2 to 35 should be next. So let me move this 2 to 35, 35 to 200. So there's another 2 to 35. So this should be 35. To 35. Then you have 35 to 200. So 2 to 35, we have fair, poor, fair, poor, fair, 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 good, fair. So this fair should, I guess I can move this, swap these two. To 35, fair, 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 and good, good. Then under this fair, less than 2K, that's good. Less than 2K, fair, poor. I could probably switch these two here. Good, excellent, fair, poor, fair. All right. So let me do that. Good and excellent, fair, poor, fair. So let me move all the fairs together. Okay, good, excellent, fair, fair, poor. Then under, there are two fairs, so yes and no separate, that's good. Then 2 to 35, fair, 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 fair. Good, good. So 2 to 35, only one, poor. And 2 to 35, yeah, fair, fair, fair. Yes, no, yes, yes. So this looks fine. And good, good. All right, 2 to 35. Okay, 35 to. All right, these are, I think these two can be moved. These two can move together. All right, so this way sort of will be easy to read, and that'll be the solution. All right, thank you.